What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 71 of Part to Prem here with Town or Town. Today we start on the profile of a club legend, a cult hero of sorts, Ryan Ferguson. His contract ends at the end of the year. He has been complaining about wanting to leave for a new challenge. He's been here for a very, very, very long time, and whilst I want to keep him around, he won't stop complaining. It wouldn't have felt right to do this not on camera. I'm just going to release him, everyone, and give him £11,000 to bugger off. I've had enough. You might be a club legend. You might be an icon of the series, Mr. Postman. But you've been flooding my inbox complaining every other week about wanting to leave. He didn't want to sign a new contract anyway. So he's gone. Right, we've got a few things to get through today, including Shvetsov, which I think is where we'll go next, because this is a guy who gets talked about non-stop in the comment section. Yes, I have tried to loan him out. No team have come in with an offer to loan him. Yes, there have been some transfer offers. They've not been good enough for me to even consider accepting. We've not had a bid of over £2 million yet. He's still got 4 years left on his current contract, but he's no closer to getting a work permit than he was previously. We can appeal for another one in 64 days. I don't think it's going to lead to anything. I think actually to get him a new work permit, we would need to offer him a new contract that includes a big pay rise in order to get it on appeal, but because he's unhappy, he doesn't want to sign a new contract. So it's a bit of an unfortunate trap that we're stuck in, but because he's got a 4-year contract and an optional contract extension after promotion, we've got 7 years to solve it. So hopefully it will resolve itself, but if it doesn't, I'm not going to lose sleep over things. Anyway, before we get into the matches since we last here, one thing that came up in the end of season episode was the fact I was going to really overhaul the staff, and that is something that we have done. You can see here we have pretty much every staff role filled. We actually have a really, really large staff team for a team of our size in terms of division, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it does leave us in a good spot. Some people have asked, Jack, can you do a guide about how you sort out your staff members in Football Manager and stuff? And the reality is, there's no secret to like sorting out your staff. Each category just has, some desired attributes. In, for example, defending, coaching, technical, it's defensive, technical, determination, level of discipline, and motivating. It's just a case of finding the best value for money coach in those areas. But if you were just curious about how the overall kind of coaching side looks now, we've got at least 3.5 stars in every single area, light workload on every single coach, and in a decent chunk of areas, we are also starting to push up into 4-star and excellent lead coach rating, which is good. But as I said, it pretty much boils down to finding the right staff members to fill the roles. You can see Roy Loy is still at the club, the former player. I guess it's cool to see him in the youth team. There's a few other players here that you might recognise as kind of former men, but for the most part, I've just kind of got the best men for the job. And we've done that again in all the other staff areas. With scouts, there's no big secret. I guess with scouts, the important thing is to get a variety of kind of areas covered. You can see when you look at our scout nationalities, whilst, a decent chunk are English and Scottish, we have got some from further afield now to help with our overall knowledge base. And, we're in a good spot when it comes to the overall quality of our coaches, as you can see here, by far and away the best kind of team in England. Not in England, in League One. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. For people wondering about assignments, by the way, I don't do anything particularly special with the assignments. I've just got scouts set ongoing at Hot Prospect or ongoing looking for first team players, and I just have them set to go anywhere in our scouting range, so we get players from all over the place thrown in our direction. Boa Morte has been looking across England. If we look at Pasilev here, you can see here again has been looking largely in England, although he's thrown at one player here who plays for Nashville, apparently 23 years old. I recognise him. I think he may have played for Swansea at some point. But no, there's no kind of super big secret, It's just a case of sending our scouts out here, there and everywhere. And some do go slightly further afield, some do go abroad to do their scouting and throw up players from afar. But yeah, besides that, I kind of just do all the scouting myself. I feel like we've done pretty good in terms of uncovering talent, and that's reflected, I guess, in the number of players we've got queued to come and join the club. There are a few new names here. I feel like with these signings, they're all youngsters for the future. It's worth just talking about them when they might join. Although in Garrido's case here, we've not agreed to sign this guy yet. I'm not sure if I want to do it. £600,000 he wants. He's very, very good at 17 and could have incredible potential, but I just want to make sure I know exactly what I'm getting for my money. It's a lot of money to throw at a player, but we do have that money to spend. You can let me know. £600,000, 17 years old, maybe a bit of a punt, but he does have a hell of a lot of potential. Great determination and leadership, although besides that his mental's a little potato perhaps. But no, the next generation of Towlaw is very much in process and in progress. And in fact, if you just look at kind of the player search here, just as an example, this gives you a good idea of how many random players we've been scouting. If I just put age is at most 19, and then sort by potential, there's all kinds of players here. Some from further afield, some from closer to home, that we have been scouting away. And it's quite interesting just to see the variety of players being thrown in our direction and just how many we have ended up kind of acquiring knowledge of in recent years. I haven't looked to make any new first team signings, although that may change soon. We'll talk about the league position, I guess, now, because we've had an okay start in the league. We've played 6 matches total this season, 5 since you were last here. Of course, we drew the opening game of the year. Since then, things have gone reasonably well. Our draw against Ebbsfleet, now that you kind of see where they are in the division, does look pretty poor, although they've only played 4 games. Today, by the way, we take on York City, who are top of the league. And well, let's discuss the games since you were last here. So, to start the month of August, we took on Luton Town, a good little 1-0 win there. Michael Roof with the goal, his first goal for the senior team for the young Scottish player. He then went and got a sprained knee ligament injury and has been out for pretty much the rest of the games since that one. So, not an ideal start following on from his goal, but we'll dry our eyes and go back again. You can see we then took on Huddersfield in the EFL Cup, and I kind of made a conscious decision just to play a rotated team in this game. Should be fairly recognisable by some of the names you see in the starting 11 here. We lost 1-0 in the end. Last year we focused on cups. I feel like it may have distracted us from the league, so this year focus is on the league. We crash out early against a team who, let's be honest, are significantly better than us, Huddersfield Town, but I'm not going to lose a great deal of sleep over it. Anyway, in the first of 3 league games that followed, we took on Rotherham, a team who were relegated last year, and we beat them 3-1 at home. A really good result. The opening goal of this game was Kosic's back post header, which got us off to a flyer. That was his first goal of the season, which, I don't know, 4 games in, I was starting to get worried if he was actually going to be able to, score like he did last year. So a good goal for him there. We did then, unfortunately, concede a bit of a scrappy set piece that we ended up, screwing up. Fortunately, not long after half-time, a quick double. Hugo with the first from a set piece which wasn't cleared. He put it into the bottom corner. And then James Molyneux, what a first touch with the ball going over his head. And not a bad little finish at the end of it, even if the keeping was questionable. We then took on Oxford United, and having passed a really big test in Rotherham, I was thinking, well, we're going to cruise to success here. It just didn't really happen for us. Sylvester Jasper got them off to a flyer. Inside the first 10 minutes, we knew we were in for a game. Molyneux did get a goal in this game in the 35th minute. Again, a really good touch and a cool, composed head on his shoulders as he took the ball away. Unfortunately, Adam Senior with an absolutely insane goal, the best goal of this run of games against us just before half-time, was a real gut punch, and we never really recovered into the second half. The good news is in our most recent game, a clean sheet, only the second of the year against Wrexham, a 2-0 home win in this one. Leighton Stewart given the nod to start, and he repaid our faith with an early goal in this game in the 10th minute. And Molyneux, a little while after, not long left of the game, as Wrexham went chasing, we grabbed a second. He was there at the back post for his 4th of the season. And, well, with that, we've done okay, but we've not wowed me just yet. I'm hoping that today we're going to show what we're all about. The opposition that we take on are York City, who themselves have had back-to-back promotions to reach League One. So again, kind of, I want to say, proving my belief that the quality difference between the National League and League One really isn't that great. Obviously, they're doing very, very well this year. Agho is considered their key player. We need to find a way to shut this chap down. He's got 6 goals for them in the league. I remember him signing for York City back when we were in the National League with them. You can see here, he got 20 goals last year, 25 the year before. He's on even better form at the moment. We need to find a way to shut him down, and well, hopefully we're going to be able to do that today. So, in terms of other little bits and pieces, we've still got the facilities being upgraded. That should be happening over the course of, well, the immediate future, actually. It's really not that far away. Youth facilities will probably be done by next episode. Training facilities might have a week or 2 left, but yeah, we're going to see some of the fruits of our labours coming very soon. We did have one player officially join us upon his 18th birthday, Yoon Suk, a player who we took a punt on 2 years ago. He's not particularly great, but at 18, maybe he can improve a little bit. I'm hoping that this judgment is incorrect, otherwise he might be massively overpaid. But sometimes these punts from, slightly obscure leagues that you wouldn't normally, I guess, associate with a League One team, they just don't work out, and you kind of have to be willing to take the hit. But as long as we can continue to sell on, players for in the £10 million range, it's always going to be worth taking a punt on a player worth a small fraction of that price. But yeah, that's kind of it. There's not been a great deal happen since you were last here, but given our kind of slightly spluttery start to the year, we've not really got going. I felt like coming into this game away from home against York was going to be a bit of a, I don't want to say a make or break game, that feels like a premature assessment, but a game that we very much should be winning if we do really want to, prove ourselves to be competitors at the top of the table. You can see, just looking at our starting 11 here, Hugo, Dazelle and Molyneux have started the season really, really well. Needham's done well, so I might even play him ahead of Sacco, who missed a few games through injury. But truth be told, form across the team hasn't been particularly, impressive? It's just, we've not really got going yet. But at the same time, so few league games have been played. I don't want to start panicking too soon. If we lose this game, we have 3 days to go crazy in the transfer window, if I did want to go crazy in the transfer window. I don't know if I would, necessarily. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we put York City in their place here. They were not a team tip for promotion. I felt like when we beat Rotherham, in the game that we had against them, and we beat them convincingly 3-1, that was really us saying, yes, we are worthy, because they were a team who are predicted to do very big things. York City find themselves as a bit of a surprise package, and we need to beat them today to show that everyone what we're about and show that we are the real deal. If they win this, by the way, I think we suddenly have to look at York City as a direct promotional rival. That is kind of the reality here. They have surpassed all expectations. We need to put them in their place, basically. You can see early on here, dominating possession, but they are having significantly more shots than us, which is a bit concerning, although maybe we can make something happen here. Grant to Needham, now with Andre Dazelle. Needham and Dazelle just doing their thing. They ended the season as central midfield partners. They're there again. Kosic in the wide area in the right. Back to Grant, who has a lot of assists to start the year, and he's got another one for his collection. DKM with his first goal of the year, out on the left-hand side. I imagine DKM scored against York City when we played them way back in the National League a few years ago. And, he's got another one here today. Kosic out on the right, intelligently pulls the ball back to Grant, who whips it in. And DKM just rises above the fullback, is very good in the air, DKM. And there were whispers, there were murmurings in the comment section of the last video that maybe he needs to make way. He is trying to prove his keep right now. And, Diawara, who I feel like there is a degree of expectation on, not a bad free kick. It was saved away and it goes for a corner. Worth noting that Diawara, I forgot to mention this when we talked about him last episode, very good at set pieces. That was one of the reasons I decided to sign him up. Hopefully, he's going to, I guess, show those good set piece attributes. I'm sure you've had it. Sometimes you have an awful free kick taker who scores every free kick they touch, or at least that's what it feels like. And then maybe you sign a better free kick taker, or maybe in a different save game you have what should be a better free kick taker, and they just never really do it for you. We'll hope that Diawara is going to be, I don't want to say the Johnny Wilkinson of the team, but certainly the player who is that set-piece specialist for us, as they have a really good golden opportunity. They have broken through a few times, have York City. We hold firm on this occasion. The effort goes wide, and another highlight immediately. And Grant, the assister, looking to go forward again. Diawara, number 14, following in the footsteps of Thierry Henry, the Frenchman. I'm hoping for some big performances from him over the course this year as Ago, top goal scorer, 6 goals in 5. I mean, now it's 7 in 6. What an insane finish that is by him. Into that top corner. Could Smoljo have done better? I don't think we can throw Smoljo under the bus for that. That was just a crazy, crazy finish. Maybe Hugo could pick up his man a tiny bit better, but that finish is just crazy into the top corner. I feel like in Football Manager, sometimes strikers just find form. They just find confidence from somewhere, and they can punish you with it. To be fair, Molineux for us has been in good goal-scoring form, so hopefully we can see a bit more from him in this second half. I'm not going to make any changes too early here, because whilst they have created more chances than us, the game itself has been very 50-50 and we've had a lot of the ball. I am half tempted to switch from attacking to positive, just to prevent us overcommitting men up the pitch, because a lot of their chances are coming on the break. Hugo's about to get sent off, isn't he? He's about to get sent off. What is it with us and getting sendings off at silly moments? Have I learnt from last year? That is what the comment section is about to wonder. The answer is no. the answer is yes. I am going to make a change here. I'm going to go to... I think I'm going to go to a 4-3-2. Because Kosic can slot in as an attacker of sorts. And then I think we'll just bring in Sacco as a box-to-box midfielder. I was thinking about bringing in Sacco anyway. But with this setup here, I actually really like our attacking options. Obviously, it's not the best of systems necessarily. But I think this can work quite nicely in our favour. In possession, I want us to focus the play through the middle. And look for the overlap a little less. We're going to try and punch a hole through the middle. Defensively, we are going to be maybe a little bit vulnerable in the wide areas. Although, I say all of that, I did notice that York City, with the formation they play kind of a 5-3-2 or a 3-5-2, I guess. They play with wing backs rather than wide midfielders. So I'm a little less worried about being exposed in the wide areas and being doubled up on. You know, there's nothing worse than being, 1-on-2 in the wide areas, which is what we would be left against if they were playing with fullbacks and wingers, but they're not. So maybe that can work in our favour, oh my word. I thought Andre Dazelle was about to unleash a goal from just insane range for us there. An hour gone and we're still very much in this, although being a man down, I feel like at this point we'd probably take a draw, but I've not given up hopes of going for the win. Going to be interesting to see how Kosic gets on as a striker. It's a role that, or a position that he can play. He doesn't really have a favoured role there. He's never really played there much in his career to build up any degree of familiarity. But a chance to prove his worth there and see, if he is capable of performing in that area of the pitch. That said, they are bringing the ball forward here. Woodland whips it in. Gannon heads it out. Of course, Gannon coming into the team for Hugo, who got sent off. It was a second yellow, so he's not going to be suspended for an extended period of time, but it's still not ideal when one of your more senior players in Hugo just gets sent off like he did. You would have to say that since the sending off, there hasn't really been a massive swing of the pendulum in terms of stats. We are, however, on the back foot here, so let's not talk too soon. Weathered the storm thus far, but there is a whole new wave coming. Ford hits it. Can we get it away? Oh my word, that was not convincing. Molineux has pace. So does Kosic. Molineux, what a ball that is. Kosic, finish it! We will take that. 2-1. Kosic and Molineux, crazy, crazy speedy demons of players. As a breakaway duo, they have the pace to absolutely terrorise defences. You can see the movement here is really good. Molineux sucks in the man. Kosic just watches the line, makes the run perfectly timed. The ball is weighted superbly. And he tucks it away into the bottom corner. And with that, we go 2-1 up, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Let's hope that's nothing serious. But, I think I'm just shocked that we've scored whilst a man down. I didn't think it was possible. Although Aggo wants to ruin our day, the woodwork comes to the rescue. 10 minutes left. Needham's not had the best game as a defensive midfielder. I'm going to bring in Liam Coyle there. He is our vice-captain. Or is he our actual captain? He might be our actual captain with Hugo as vice. Either way, senior player, experienced head. Hopefully he can, guide us here as... Well, we're in possession. We could be looking for another. Sacco back to Gannon. On off the bench and on a booking already. Please don't follow in the footsteps of Hugo Gannon. Dazelle with it. Back to Williamson. At centre-back now, we do lack that senior figure due to that sending off, but we're looking okay. Gannon's played regular first-team football for Towlaw. He knows what's expected of him. He'll be familiar with York City as well, although Wiltshire bringing it inside. Options queuing up in the middle, and it falls to Jim Stank, and he just tucks it away. And Smolio, I don't think we can blame him. I wanted to blame him for the first one. I feel like this is an even more difficult save for him. Anytime you let an attacker get a shot away from about 6 yards out, you kind of have to accept it's probably going to end up in the back of the net. 2-2. I mean, I said a draw wouldn't be the most disappointing of results, but unfortunately, having gone a goal ahead, you could see it being disappointing. I was about to go very attacking for some reason, although we need to defend this here. They're on the attack. Ford hits it. I'm going to do something silly, folks. I want to go for the win. Very attacking with 4 minutes remaining. I want some last-minute excitement. It's not going to result in anything. It finishes 2-2 here. You know what? It's disappointing because we did go a goal ahead whilst down a man. But ultimately, a 2-2 draw, given the wider circumstances, I think we have to take. York City have won 5 of their last 5. It's a bit annoying that it's another 1-1 draw, because that's 2 in 2 live com episodes as Ryan Ferguson officially leaves the club. Never forget the postman, but he's on strike now. We've got rid of him. But yeah, Hugo suspended, definitely not ideal. That caused us a whole world of problems in that game. In terms of games we've got coming up, I have looked through them a little bit. I think the next game we're going to be back for is going to be the AFC Wimbledon game. I've not played a huge chunk of games between last episode and today's episode, but I do feel like the AFC Wimbledon game could be an interesting one. They're currently 3rd in the league. If they slip down and another team emerges, maybe we'll mix it up. But I feel like at that point in October, the youth facilities will have been upgraded. Our training facilities will be very nearly done. And, it'll be interesting to see where we lie in the league. I feel like after about 12 games, about a quarter of the season gone, you start to get a feel for where you're competing. But at least right now, only 1 defeat in the opening 6 games of the year. We're still in 4th. Yes, there's teams with games in hand, but we're certainly not in the worst position, all things considering. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up everything from me today. Let me know what you made of the performance against York City. I feel like given how well they've done this year, a draw really isn't the worst result in the world considering the sending off. I felt like we gave them a really good game. Good to see DKM go on the score sheet as well. Hopefully he can continue to find some form because he hasn't started the season particularly well. But we're not going to panic and start making drastic changes just yet. So yeah, that's all from me today, folks. If you have enjoyed today's episode, do drop a like on it. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. And, well, that is all. It's me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.